Hi, my name is Lauren Kay, and welcome to The Games That Made Me. We started this podcast to look at the lives and stories of those who are working in the esports and gaming industries to look at the games that shaped our guests' futures. Today we're joined by Danny Uda Garanya, also known as Ebonix. Danny is a content creator, speaker, host, and co-founder of Black Twitch UK. You can follow Danny on Twitter at Ebonix. I really loved having Danny on the show. She is such a powerhouse in the industry when it comes to diversity and really fighting for representation all around. I really hope you enjoy this episode. Right off the bat, we gotta talk about The Sims because you don't have Ebonix without The Sims. And, talk us through sort of how you came about The Sims initially, because you were about 9, weren't you, when you started?
Yeah. So obviously Sims dropped, I'm guessing like 2000, like 1999, 2000. And I remember I was with my mum and we was at WH Smith, which is this like news agents that is across the nation, very popular. And then I saw the box of The Sims and I was like, what is that?
It's really spicy.
Yeah,
a really spicy cover.
I want it.
Yeah.
So I was like, Mum, she's like, oh. I was like, yeah, that's the bit of me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna need that. So she got it for me. And then once I got a PC that was kind of, compatible and able to run it, it was magic. I was so stuck. Yeah. So it was just one of those things that I really hyper fixated on as a child and just was non-stop playing The Sims. And so with every expansion that kind of came out, I don't think I got every expansion because I think Mum was like, okay, yeah, pump your brakes, because we're not doing this. This is costing money and you don't, all right. But with the ones that I did get, I was always on there. I was always on it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a really lovely time starting out with The Sims. Just this new adventure, the fact that you can control these families,
honestly,
which we didn't really have.
No, it was you did, but you did it yourself, which is Barbies. Yeah. I was a big Barbie girl. That's probably why I was so obsessed with The Sims, because I was obsessed with Barbies. And I put out on Twitter the other day, just kind of, obviously, we weren't rich. It was just me and Mum, and she was a single mum. And she converted a bookshelf that was kind of like a shelving unit that was just open shelving. And she converted it into Barbie's house. Yeah. So every level had a different room for Barbie, and she made a little lift out of cardboard and stuff like that. So I was just The Sims really appealed to me because it was Barbie for me, but on a different scale to where I could kind of get other characters involved and just kind of control the life and build up a storyline using those Sims.
Oh, what was your sort of which family did you create your own families a lot of the times, or did you go with the pre-made?
Random. Yeah, I think I went to pre-made to start. So there was Bob Newby and Betty Newby.
Yeah, I know.
The originals.
Love them.
Oh my God. And the Goths, obviously, they're pinnacle to the franchise.
They really are.
And then I just started making my own Sims. Just exploring in my little box houses I used to build. It was always only ever a box.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to. There was no landscaping. It was just a box, a few different things outside of the box, a few things inside of the box.
Yeah.
And we find a job and we make babies.
Yeah, exactly. I've always found the roofs are the most difficult thing to make in The Sims, particularly now with The Sims 4, because it's making roofs, it's a lot.
To this day, making roofs is abominable. Don't ask me to roof anything. I think The Sims 3, we did have auto roofing.
Yeah, which was fantastic.
So that was a time, because I was just yes, that's one less thing I have to worry about after spending 84 years building up this box house.
Yep.
But they took it away from us. And now everything is just chaotic looking again.
I know. It's just, maybe they just thrive on the chaos.
They do. They really do.
But yeah, so with that in mind as well, Sims has become such a big part of your development with your career currently. So when did you sort of transition to making content that could be shared with people? Because obviously you do a lot with custom content particularly.
So that goes back to about 2015. I was off work for quite an extended period of time. At the time, I was working in a special school for children with autism. And unfortunately, I got injured. So I had to, I was waiting for knee surgery, in recovery for knee surgery. And for me, The Sims was something that was a bit of I'd binge it for about a month, 2 months, and then leave it for about 6 months because it was just like one thing that I could binge. So at that time, I was like, cool, I'm off work, so I'm going to play some Sims. Like, this is the perfect time for me to binge Sims.
Yep.
And that's kind of when I got into Tumblr. So I didn't know that there was like a whole like Sims community on Tumblr. I knew that people used to write stories and stuff with their Sims on like these really cool like forums, and I was like, because I used to download like CC and stuff and read those stories for like Sims 2, Sims 3, but I didn't really know too much about Tumblr. So when I was looking to write like the stories and stuff and looking for CC, I came across Tumblr. I was like, what the hell is it? Oh my God. So, I hopped on, made my little Simbler account, and I was like, well, cool, I want to write some stories. I want to share my stories on Tumblr like everyone else. Cool, I'm going to do that. I've got time. And as I was like developing the characters for the stories, I was like, I don't really have the content that I need to make the Sim that I had envisioned that was really quite, Afrocentric and proud and, proud of his heritage and stuff like that. So I don't really have that content. I was looking around because I knew what custom content was, but I was looking around and just couldn't find it. And I said, okay, well, I don't know how hard it is, but I'm sure it can't be that hard to get something like a t-shirt, get something like a dashiki in the game. Did some research, looked around, found a little tutorial on how to, put a texture on a t-shirt. I was like, okay, we're gonna try a little something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went away, did some like test runs, and then I ended up making a dashiki.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, and then I kind of was like, awesome, we've got the dashiki, let's do this. So I wrote the story, shared the characters, and then we got some comments, and people were like, hold on, where did you get that? Like, that's so far, I haven't seen that. And I was like, oh, I made it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, right, like, can you share it? I was like, yeah, cool, because I don't mind sharing it. I want people to have this too. And then it kind of just kicked off from there, really. I think after that, I was like, well, there's not enough content for us out there to make Sims that represent us, represent our background. And, since I've kind of dabbled in it now, I'm sure I can make more. Started throwing out a few more. The downloads started coming in. I was like, okay, so there's a need.
Yeah.
There is a need, and there is a desire and a want for content that reflects our heritage and our individuality. And so that kicked off around 2015, November times. And then, by 2016, I'd put out a few more pieces of content. And 2017, I dabbled in hair. It took me some time because Blender was a beast that was scary.
Yeah.
And I was like, I opened it and I closed it and I did not go back in for 7 months. I was like, today is not the day that I tackle Blender. But once I opened it back up and I put out my first, like, my braided hair, that was it for me. I kind of knew from that point that my passion was to allow Black Simmers to see themselves in the game when there isn't content for them.
Somebody had to do it, and it had to be that. That's amazing though. And like, I mean, when you look at Blender, it does look, it's like an empty abyss, isn't it?
Literally.
You really just have to practice at it.
I'm telling you, it was so frightening because I just looked at the box and I was like, no.
Yeah. But like, it's incredible as well because this is something that's a free tool that gives people access to be able to do things that are incredible.
Absolutely.
How did you first find out about Blender as well? Like, did you were you just kind of looking around communities as well who were building things, or?
I think it was all on the Sims forums, to be honest, because they have to people in the community will share tutorials and like, you know, easy blended tutorial on how to make such and such, or like an accessory for The Sims. So I think I found out about it from going on like the Sims 4 studio forums. And obviously there was then like the YouTube tutorials. But yeah, so initially it was kind of like the resource hub that the community had shared that I kind of found out about it.
Oh, that's so incredible. And like, you know, seeing where you've gone now and seeing where, you know, all of this has taken you, you know, it's just, what else do you feel could be pushed further in The Sims? Like, what do you sort of hope for future of Sims in terms of just diversity and like custom content as well?
I hope that they continue on the trajectory that they're going on now when it comes to, you know, making sure that the content that is being added is implemented and correctly consulted. Because even with the new pack that they put out, the Growing Together pack, they consulted with one of the top like black hairstylists in the States, and she was able to help navigate and consult how like particular hairstyles needed to look even when it just comes down to the parting of the hair and the braid style and the curl like pattern. So little things like that where there's like intricacies that may not feel important to you if you don't know about it, but makes a world of difference to someone who actually has that kind of curl pattern, who wears that hairstyle. And I'm really hoping that they continue understanding that consultation for the demographic that you're trying to reach is never a bad thing. And also understanding that the community essentially is what's going to make or break the game. So you have to make sure that you're listening to the community, taking on board as much as they can, and also utilizing the voices and people who have been making waves to make the game popular, make the game what it should be, because people are out here making content to really make the game playable. So yeah, just making sure that they include the community in the decision making. Because it's just what's going to drive everything.
I think that's one of the things that's like an outsider to it, just seeing like, you know, because you're part of the EA Creator Network as well, and the Sims Creator Network, and it's just like, you know, EA could have easily taken the other approach where, you know, people who complain about things that are happening in The Sims or you know, showing weak points, they blacklist them. I've seen it done by studios that they just like blacklist them and just like, oh well, we won't send them things anymore. But the fact that they are sort of listening, they're allowing people to speak the truth about how they feel about the game and where they feel their pain points are, and they're not discarding them.
No, totally.
Like, I think that is like that speaks so many volumes.
No, absolutely. And it's a lot I understand it's a lot for, you know, a studio to put their hands up and say, you know what, we haven't done, you know, justice. We haven't done right by you as our players. So for them to kind of backtrack and even like, you know, bringing me, Mira, Ranoy, they brought us on to consult with the additional skin tones that they added.
Exactly.
And I think that taking accountability for where they haven't done good and wanting to do better is way more important than just putting their head in the sand and ignoring the issue and ignoring what the community is saying. So, you know, I can really commend them for taking a step back and actually analysing that they need to do better and they want to do better. So, and they're showing that they want to.
Yeah, it's so lovely. Oh,
no.
And moving on from that, we have Street Fighter 2, because you had a bit of a bit of a side of doing more fighting games.
Yes.
Which is just so cool. And you actually recently got to go to a Street Fighter. You had a Street Fighter event, and you brought your dad.
I did.
So how did you sort of get into like fighting games? Was it with your dad or?
Yeah, so I mean, God, yeah. So my uncle was a game dev, and he had always had the consoles, always had the games. So, and they all like kind of lived in the same house.
I love those uncles.
So, yes, me too. So whenever, you know, I'd go over to dad's, it would be, okay, cool, we're going to hop on and we're going to play Street Fighter. And then me and my cousins, we're all quite similar in age. So I'm like, I'll be the oldest one. Then I've got Paul, who's like 1 year younger, and then Joy, who's 1 year younger than him. So we all used to just kind of sit and play together. And Street Fighter was also one when I used to go to a play scheme, which is like a little, not a summer camp, but it's like a bit of like a respite during the summer holidays and during like the half terms. So, you know, mum's got to go to work, but I've got to go do something. And at my, you know, my play scheme, they had what did they have? I think they had a Nintendo. Either Nintendo or PlayStation. But yeah, I used to play Street Fighter on that. And I play Chun-Li, make the boys cry. It was great. I was living.
So it's like Chun-Li. Is Chun-Li like your favorite then? Is she your top dollar?
Chun-Li's my girl.
Yeah.
She is my girl.
I mean, she does have thighs of justice. Like, I have to say, like, well, a lot of the ladies in Street Fighter have amazing thighs. Like,
Thunder
just
thighs. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I feel represented.
Exactly. So what was it about Chun-Li that you just loved so much initially?
Do you know, she was like, obviously she was a girl, innit?
Yeah.
So, and you know, of a roster full of like beefy men. Yeah. Oh, no, I want to play none of them. Like, I want to play Chun-Li. Like, she's cute. And she actually just kicked ass. Like, she was just amazing to kind of navigate when it came to, when it came down to playing. And there just wasn't any other kind of femme presenting character that I felt like I could connect with.
Yeah.
Apart from Chun-Li.
Yeah, she is so sick. And like, with that being said as well, like the fighting game genre does struggle a bit with women representation.
100%.
And it does become a bit of a boys' club. But I feel like being a woman who is playing those games gives you a bit of empowerment in yourself to like sort of smash the
that's why it sticks out so much for me in terms of like a game that I would say made me, because I was like, I wasn't gonna let these boys like, you know, beat me at my own game.
Exactly.
So Street Fighter was always one, but I love now that they've added Kimberly, and Kimberly is obviously a black girl and it's just vibes. And you know, I played her yesterday at the event with my dad. I didn't know her controls too tough, so I was like, okay, we're gonna work on this, girl, because we are gonna get it together.
Oh yeah.
But I just loved, you know, seeing a black girl in a fighting game. Like, for me, my heart was just overjoyed. Even just seeing her in the trailers, and all like the sneak peeks, I was like, oh, it's time. It's really our time.
Yeah. How is the event for your dad? Does he go to a lot of events with you?
He doesn't. So this was like our first like gaming event that we've been to. And obviously, you know, it was Father's Day, and I felt it was like because he's not too much of like a materialistic type of person. And he prefers experiences over materials things.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, this is the man who essentially made me the gamer I am today. Why wouldn't I bring him to a gaming event where we used to I grew up playing like games with him, watching him play games, destroying his computer, downloading mods and viruses.
Yep.
And he bought me my first like PC build like years ago. So I was like, well, for me, this is, you know, it feels so natural to bring him into my world now, considering that he kind of got me into this world in the first place.
Yeah. How did he enjoy it?
He really enjoyed it. We had such a time, just like, because we played together, isn't it? So, you know, I feel like a lot of games now you play online, so you're not really like kind of with people as you're playing. So it kind of was really nostalgic to kind of just be sitting next to each other and, you know, playing the game, and obviously like going back and forth with like, oh no, you're cheating, like, no, you're cheating. So it was really, it was such a nice time, really nice like bonding experience for me and him.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. It's so good to see those kind of wholesome moments happen in games. Like, it's just, I think that's like such a great thing about games as well, is the bringing the family together.
Honestly.
It's just so nice.
And that's, you know, that's how a lot of us started out.
Yeah.
So even like just, me and my cousins, like so many hours spent not out in the streets. We was inside. The curtains were closed.
Yeah.
The console was on. Yeah. And we'd be playing for hours, especially like during the holidays.
I know.
You're like, all right, we're going to grandma's house. Yep. See you there.
Yeah.
And it'll just be, we'll be playing the game for hours.
Yeah. Oh, so good. And recently as well, you've been doing this really great campaign with Sky called #NoRoomForAbuse, which is all about women in the games industry and keeping us from not feeling like we have like a safe space in the industry, you know. How has that experience been for you?
What's really interesting about the campaign is that it's something that I feel like a lot of us have been doing for so long.
Yeah.
So it's always nice when you see a brand who isn't trying to come into this space on I'm trying to sell you a product. When they're trying to break into this space with meaning and they want to do something with purpose to really help support like gamers who obviously are facing a lot of abuse online. It was really quite endearing and you know, me and you know, Stephanie from the Saga, Sunpie, we actually was able to like kind of consult on how the activation rolled out. And it meant a lot to kind of be one of the faces that was fronting this campaign, because a lot of the time, you know, we aren't necessarily at the front of these things.
Yeah.
It's usually always just like a certain demographic that don't look like us. So it really meant a lot to be able to put out some really meaningful content that isn't just trying to sell you a product.
Yeah.
This is a message that we're putting out to show that there's no room for abuse. And even the backlash that came with it just even underlined and identified exactly where the issues are lying.
Yeah.
And it brought a lot of things to light, which I'm really hoping that we can not maximize on, but actually use as a driving force as to why the campaign isn't just a one and done, why there's still more work to be done.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, yeah, as you said, like a lot of the times it's they're trying to promote something. They have some kind of, you know, underlying thing. And you think like Sky is the biggest network over here for TV, particularly. Like it's just crazy how big Sky is over here. And you're reaching people who are the ones who we can't reach when we talk on things like Twitter and like even YouTube to a degree. Like there's demographics that those messages just don't reach them.
Not at all.
And so, but this is something that is so universal.
Oh yeah, no, this reached that demographic, and they were not happy about it.
Good,
exactly. There's over 4,000 comments on the YouTube video, the hero video.
Yeah.
And it's all just abuse.
Yeah.
It's literally, Gamer Bros are so upset that anyone would ever think to say there's no room for abuse that they perpetuate towards women. And it was just like, this is the reason. Like, you're actually just proving points.
Yeah.
So thank you for your comment. It's going to give us all the funding we need to get rid of you.
It gives us content. Thank you. But yeah, no, it's so true. Like, it's just, yeah, it's like this sort of weird, like, I don't, yeah, it's just absolutely mental when you think about it. But that's really amazing, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you all, Stephanie, Sampai, and Els, to just be able to have had that opportunity to
absolutely
share this with everybody. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, Tiana as well, because Tiana
as well. Yeah,
Tiana Mercedes, because I mean, she makes a lot of Call of Duty content.
Yeah.
Which, as we know, very male dominated.
Oh my gosh,
space.
Yeah.
And
her TikTok was amazing.
It was great. Then it found its way onto Twitter.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think Steph shared it and we were like, Steph, like, did you know someone put this on Twitter? She was like, no, I didn't even know. So we saw the comments and we were like, all right, cool. Right, girls, ready?
Yeah.
Just rolled up our sleeves. Yeah, we rolled up our sleeves and we was on it.
Yeah.
And then even that was like feedback for Sky to be like, yeah, like, this is exactly the kind of thing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the support that, needs to be rallied around, women in gaming, and even highlighting that there are certain studios that are nurturing really toxic environments.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the culture is, well, if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. The culture is, well, it's just, it happens. Like, you're gonna get abused when you play games like this. And it's like, why is that the culture? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if the studios are nurturing these toxic environments, and we're talking like 20 years of the same old, like, nothing's changing. They feel like they don't have a duty of care to make sure that anyone should be able to play their game and not feel like they're going to get abused if they turn the mic on.
Exactly.
Don't make sense.
No. Why is that the one thing that gets single-handedly pointed out? And I just feel like the worst is when somebody will start throwing a game because you're a woman on the team.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what is the actual point? Like, what is this? It just, yeah.
But if they aren't facing repercussions,
exactly, they'll just keep on doing it.
They're just going to keep on doing it.
Exactly.
So, these studios got a duty of care and got to start doing more to, not make room for that.
Exactly. So let's talk about pretty much the biggest queen of games to start off. Like, I mean, Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, like
my babe.
That was it was an era. Like, so what got you started on Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider 2
for me, yeah. So I think it was on PlayStation. And again, that was one of the games that me and my cousins always played. My uncle had it, so we loaded it up, booted it up, and yeah, it was just so fun to kind of like go through the different levels and go to different parts of the world and shooting up the big old spiders and running like the gym course that she had at her house.
Oh my gosh, with the old man.
Yes, that everyone put in the freezer.
Yeah.
Everyone put him in the freezer.
Well, he's creepy. I found him really creepy.
Like, bro, what is this? Why are you always following me around?
I know.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. Give me some space.
But yeah, no, so it was literally just one of those games that me and my cousins used to play all the time. Obviously loved that, she was a femme. Yeah. She was kicking ass, like she was adventurous and outside and yeah, just doing like super amazing things. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't like, obviously I think at that time you feel like women-led games, don't really think we had any women-led games around that time.
Not very many.
No.
Not as prominent as Lara Croft was.
Yeah, it wasn't as prominent. So I think, seeing that she wasn't just like a Disney princess and where was me and my prince and my prince. Yeah, there was none of that. It was just like, I'm a boss. Give me my God. It's like,
yeah. Taking down freaking T-Rexes.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I was all about that, man.
And I think she was like, it was almost like she was the first one that nobody questioned that she had a place at the table. You know, like
Absolutely.
nobody questioned that Lara Croft shouldn't be in that space.
Yeah.
For whatever reason it was.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and I think that was such a nice part of gaming history to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? Like, despite like sort of current trends of like, you know, coming back on some of the games that we loved, that we felt compelled for, you know, but like I feel like Lara Croft was one of those things where she really spoke to all of us.
Again, it's because 100% as her being like a woman, leading and fronting a game isn't your stereotypical just damsel in distress. I think that's where a lot of people probably connected, because it wasn't relying on anyone other than herself. So very much like woman empowerment and you know, like you said, you know, we go back and we reflect on what isn't, you know, quite kosher as we would like it to be back in the day, you know, obviously figuratively, and the sounds that she makes. Yeah. Okay, we know who was behind those kind of things. But kind of as like a starting point to work from in terms of breaking the status quo of what we expect women to be doing in these games. Yeah. She wasn't a side character. She wasn't, you know, am I allowed to say like this? Not the you know, she wasn't fully how they had projected women to be back in the day. Like, you know, so she was just an action babe doing action things. And, you know, the boys had action men. And then we had Tomb Raider, Lara Croft.
It was great. Did you watch the film as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Angelina Jolie, babe.
Like, that was like the first video game film that was just really good. Like, that was just such a great, such a fun experience.
100%. And yeah, Angelina played her to the T. I loved the movies so much. But yeah, no, it was really, I think that was one of the first ones, like game turned to movie, that I really enjoyed. Yeah.
Has there been any video game character recently that you've really felt like you've connected with or gelled with, like sort of how you did Lara Croft?
Good question. I think Kimberly for sure from Street Fighter 6, 100%, because she's just fun, bubbly, colourful, vibey. Like she isn't. Again, like there's no status quo with her. It's just, I'm a vibe. Melanated. We're not giving, you know, there's no light skin pink. It's like the chocolate is chocolating. Layla from Redfall. That was my babe, because I remember seeing the first trailer of her, and then she was my Twitter header for months. Because I was like, this is again a dark skinned babe, hair out and just giving vibes. And I was like, yeah, this is a bit of me. This is a bit of me. So yeah, I think Layla and Kimberly are the two most recent ones that I can look at and feel like I'm seeing myself in the game.
Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. And then let's get on to Animal Crossing New Horizons, because I think that this was all of our pandemic game.
Yeah.
Like this was just right game, right time.
Right time.
So when did you get it when it first came out?
Yeah. And it was my first of the franchise as well.
Yeah,
so
same.
I hadn't played any of the previous ones. So, you know, trying to get a bit of like a feel for what, you know, the legacy players are, you know, feeling about. I was like, what the hell is this Animal Crossing? I mean, it's the first time I'm hearing about it.
I know.
What's going on? So, yeah, I got it. And then I streaked. So at this point, you know, it was streaming. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to, stream the, kind of like my first impressions. And I was like, oh my God, I love this.
Yeah.
And, you know, knowing that we can invite people over to the island and connect with your friends and your viewers, I was like, so cute.
I know.
Everyone come over. Come.
I know.
Bring your peaches. I had pears. Bring your oranges.
Just no pears.
Just no
But
pears.
even if you have pears, it's okay. You're still invited.
Yes.
But yeah, like,
It's really cute.
You know, from the customizable perspective as well, because like, did you have fun with like sort of making
like the design things?
Yeah.
I did. I had a little bit of fun, so I made like this really cute like bikini t-shirt.
Oh, I love
But
it.
you know, you put it in your store and then other people can wear it.
Exactly.
So then someone will come round, or not even just that, like the villagers will start picking it out as well.
Yeah.
So I'd see like a meringue walking around in like the t-shirt with this yellow bikini, and I'm
Love
like,
it.
girl.
Could you imagine if they started doing that, like The Sims as well, like seeing your Sims sort of walk around with like all of your custom content?
It happens sometimes because
Yeah,
Sims
yeah.
like put on this like the CC randomly sometimes, like that wasn't intended for you. Take it off.
Yeah. Take that off right now.
Take it off right now.
Yeah, it was so nice to have that kind of shareability
Yeah.
with The Sims, or sorry, with Animal Crossing,
Animal Crossing,
New Horizons. And like, so who was your sort of who were your villagers? Who were the ones that you loved the most?
Loved the most. Cherry, Marshall.
Oh, Marshall.
Marshall, such
so
a babe.
cute.
Love Marshall.
Yeah.
Cherry, Marshall. Oh my God, what's his name? My son. Oh no, I'm gonna get dragged for this because I made such a big deal out of him.
It's okay. It was a while ago.
It was because it's all collecting dust now on my little island.
I know. It's the sad
I had
thing
all the
about it.
elephants. I'm obsessed with elephants.
Oh.
And so apart from like Cherry and Marshall, I really had like an elephant island.
Oh, I love
so
that.
I had all of like the different elephants. I had Eloise. It's this it's a blue elephant, and he's like one of the like the slob personalities.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's just super cute, and I love him so much, but I can't remember his name. I just used to call him my son.
Yeah.
I was like, my son.
Yeah. I know, but I love that though, that you kind of associate yourself with a particular animal.
Yeah,
on the
elephants for
island.
me is 100%.
Yeah, they are really cute. I had quite a selection, but like getting onto that like custom outfits thing, like my daughters used to make their own outfits.
Really?
And the choices that they made for some of the characters was really, really adorable. Like we had this one character called Angus.
Oh, Angus.
And yeah, and you know, like he typically is wearing like the flame shirt, like quite rock and roller. She gave him a dress and a purse, and he wore it, and he loved it. Like he was feeling it, and I think that's like such a lovely wholesome vibe about Animal Crossing.
Because it's for everyone. There's
exactly.
There's no binary. They wear what they want.
Exactly.
Sid was one of my favorite ones. He was a red elephant. He was the rock and roller.
Oh, I love that.
The rock and roller.
Do you think you'd ever go back and play any of the other Animal Crossings, or have you done?
Do you know what's crazy? Yeah, because I was looking at a Nintendo DS. I was trying to buy one online, so that I could play like some of the old games like Animal Crossing New Leaf. The only thing that put me off was that you can't customize your character on the older one. So I want to feel connected to it so that I have that, I can talk about the nostalgia. But I was like, but I don't want to play. I want to make a character that looks like me.
Because that was a big thing about New Horizons as well, wasn't it? Like the lack of diversity, the lack of certain types of like hairstyles. The
Afro hairs, They had to patch it in.
Yeah,
which is one thing that was my biggest gripe with Animal Crossing, like New Horizons, because I was like, again, it feels like we're an afterthought. It feels like, why isn't this something that was at the forefront of your development? Why is it that it had to come from outrage that there wasn't enough content to represent the diverse range of players that you have? So obviously loved the game, but that was one of my biggest gripes with it, and one thing that I talked about a lot, especially when I do like consulting, because I do like DE&I consulting as well with game studios. And that's one of the things that I, kind of always try to point out, that they can't leave us as an afterthought, because then it shows that in your development stage, there isn't anyone that can point out that you're missing a really big part of what would make the game really accessible and feel really connected and representative to a wider player base.
Yeah, no, completely. Hopefully, maybe if they at some point do another Animal Crossing. I really am hoping that they do.
I hope so. I wonder what that would look like, though.
I know.
It would be really interesting to see where they kind of take it next.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, we're online for the first time. We can play with other people coming to the island.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll be some, because you know a lot of the stuff on the island is not so much interactable. It's more decorative.
Yeah.
So it does very much feel like you're decorating the island, but you can't actually engage with the stuff. But I mean, I did see a bit of change when, you know, when they added like the fruit and veg, the vegetables, like the tomatoes and the wheat and the flour and the pumpkins.
Oh, the pumpkins, yeah.
God, my island is still Christmas, but that's fine because we're coming up to Christmas again.
Yeah,
so I only ever
I'm
really.
ready for Christmas. It's
I'm
good.
ready for Christmas.
That's when I'll start playing again. It's fine. Yeah, no, but it was like, yeah, I think like coming from The Sims, I think like Animal Crossing was just it is such a nice, wholesome type of game.
Yeah, it's a really cozy game. Yeah. You spend ages as well just like decorating the island. So if you ever really did want to just do something for downtime, you spend hours just in the bed.
Oh my gosh.
Putting down paths.
But it does take that long though.
No,
like
it takes
I want to redo my island. All right, I needed a year.
Yep. No, 100%. Don't talk to me.
Yep.
I'm out of office.
Yep.
I am doing my island.
Yeah. And then, you know, last but certainly not least, we have Telltale Games' The Walking Dead.
Oh my God.
Which I always hear such incredible things about this series. So what made you sort of explore this series initially?
I think it was like the reviews from my community, you know. I think I'd seen some Cup of Noodle. I was watching my friend Kaysen.
Oh, Cup of Noodle.
Yeah, I love her so much.
Yeah.
I was watching her play, I think the very last season that came out, and it was coming out episode by episode.
Yeah.
So I was watching her play and I was like, this is like a pretty decent game, you know. Because I mean, I like zombie-esque movies and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well, how, you know, this kind of goes far back because she's on what season 4? All right, so I've got to go back. So I think I decided to play it. I think it was like during like a 24-hour stream that I was doing.
Yeah.
And it is honestly the only game, no, that's a lie. But it's one of the only games, and there's not many, that I have completed in its entirety.
Amazing.
And, you know, some games only come with like one thing. So I've completed like a few short ones, but this is a game that has seasons and then there's like 4 episodes per, and I've completed it. And I was like, I love this game so much. I love this game so much because you just get so attached to it because obviously you're making decisions that, again, later on, that you don't even expect it to affect how the story plays out. And it's not one of those games where everyone has the same kind of route. Whatever decision you've made, such and such may have made, but they've made another one, but you haven't made that one. And so the story plays out so differently. And I love that so much.
Yeah, no, I keep seeing so many people with their reactions to certain pivotal moments in the series. And yeah, it just seemed like incredible.
It's such a good game. Such a good game. Love that they had a series for it as well.
Aww.
Although it doesn't follow the same storyline, obviously, but it's just, it's the same, you know, it's the same like zombie vibe, which I love.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a really good game.
And during this time as well, you became a Twitch ambassador.
I did.
Which is really incredible.
Yeah, that was the game that I played like during my ambassador announcement week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the games that I played when I was like on the front page and kind of getting that push. So it actually brought a lot of people in because they were, you know, really intrigued and invested in the storyline as well. So yeah, it was really dope. experience to play with the community.
Yeah, I mean, like, what has it sort of meant you becoming a Twitch ambassador? Because I don't think there's a very big pool of people who are Twitch ambassadors.
No, it's quite a small pool, you know, in the grand scheme of things. It meant a lot because I think one, you know, I was the first Black woman in the UK to be a Twitch ambassador, as well as a like Twitch partner prior to that. And I think for me, it meant that if I do anything to, you know, that's to do with the ambassadorship, that there are other young, aspiring Black femme streamers who can see themselves in the position that I'm in. And I think just even having that level of representation where there are young people who can see themselves in a position that they might like to be in, that's the more important thing for me. And kind of through that, I think it has put me in a position to do things that I don't think I would have necessarily been able to do, to, you know, uplift and support other Black streamers, especially those from the UK, which kind of also helped when co-founding Black Twitch UK with Cassie. You know, it definitely kind of helped position me in a place where we were able to just push these guys a bit more forward so that we could get seeing them a bit more, which is really important.
I mean, like, Black Twitch UK is been so lovely to see. I mean, you have such a great community.
Yeah.
Like, I always see so many of its members like appearing up every now and then, and it's so wonderful to see how supportive you are of each other.
Yeah.
So, like, how did it sort of come to be? When did you and Cassie sort of decide, like, let's make this happen, let's bring these people together, let's raise each other up?
Yeah, so I mean, we founded it in 2020, but we'd always had like discussions before that point of, you know, where's all the Black streamers from the UK at? Because, you know, we had like a relationship with the Black US streamers.
Gotcha.
Knew a lot of them, 100% knew a lot of them, and obviously would vibe with them, chill out in their streams. But there's a different level of like understanding when you pop into a Black streamer and they're from the UK.
Yeah.
There's nuances that you can connect with them that you can't necessarily connect with a US streamer. And so essentially we was like one day like, okay, how many can we really count? So we actually, you know, was able to count how many we knew of on like our two hands. We was like, oh, okay, no. This won't do. This won't do. And then, you know, it also got to a point where it was like, there was brands saying, well, we didn't include such and such because we couldn't find any Black streamers. And
we couldn't find them.
We couldn't find them. It was like, hold please. Hold please. So we launched the Twitter, I think it was like June, August of 2020. And we started off with just following everyone that we could find.
Yeah.
And I remember people hitting me up in the DMs like, is this you? Like, who is this? I was like, yeah, shh, it's me and Cassie, but we're coming. Shh.
Yeah.
So we just like following people. And then we made the Twitter list, and called it Black Streamers, Black Twitch UK Streamers. And it's just started adding everyone that we know. And we're just like, boom, do you know any Black streamers? Let's get this cracking.
Yeah.
So I think to start, we had about 35 people on the list. Then it got to about 50. And then like over the last couple of years, I think we've got like 300 or so on the list now.
That's insane.
So it's just like, we really wanted to eradicate any kind of excuse as to why brands aren't getting a more diverse roster involved in their campaigns because of the fact that they couldn't find them. Like, if you're now having a campaign and it's not diverse, it's by choice.
Exactly.
You haven't done the work that you should have been doing to make sure it wasn't.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's incredible. And like, yeah, I love seeing like so many events that y'all have been to and have all come together but yeah, it's exactly that. It's like not letting them have the excuse anymore
No, not at all.
It's like they're here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's just connecting people.
Exactly.
It's a community thing, and I think kind of following kind of like the launch of it, and people were connecting with each other through it, and then as the world opened back up, people were connecting each other because they knew of such and such and such was from Twitter or from Twitch, and I remember you'll come to each other's stream. So it allowed them to find each other as well, which is the whole point of it, being able to connect with each other in a space that you don't always necessarily see yourself in.
Yeah. And I've sort of had this conversation with Stephanie about this as well. It's like, because obviously you and Cassie, you're both so successful in this space, and it's like carrying on that message of diversity as well to like almost the next gen of streamers, because we're gonna need them going forward, right? Like 100%. We need to carry on even when we're not there, but then also just in terms of numbers, like it's just, there's so much power in having people who share the same ideas as you and the same wants and visions as you. So it's like really, really, really beautiful.
Absolutely. And we're getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah.
We're getting there. So I think the more we connect with, different brands and platforms to not only just, because there's also like, there's for years and years and years, there was like just very gatekeepy in terms of information sharing and who works where and what connects you have. So a lot of what, Cassie and I like to do is connect the creators with the people who are in these positions. Because the last thing we want is like, if we just stop doing stuff, then they lose that connect. And they lose that kind of ability to be involved with what a brand is doing. So a lot of it is information sharing and connecting them with the people that they need to know, so that they can also they feel empowered to make the changes and do have the conversations that we have been having. Because can't hold your hand through it all, babes. We've been doing we had to fight in this space, so we're making it easier for you to break into the industry. But we can't hold everyone's hand. You have to have that initiative, that drive to really want to make it in the space and make your own lane. And it's hard. It's hard defining your own lane in this space. It's not an easy job. And I think once you have identified what it is that you want to do, then even better, because that's when we can also just continue to support and advise and just give the information that's needed to kind of take that next step.
Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. And with that all being said, all these incredible games that you've chosen, what do you feel your game choices have said about you?
God, because they're all different, aren't they? I think my choices probably reflect that I like to create spaces that are reflective of me, that I'm a fighter and I'm not going to let anyone back me into a corner. I'm always going to come out fighting, that I like to break the status quo, that I'm not a damsel in distress, that when you look at me, you need to think gamer, and I'm working to breaking that status quo as to what a gamer looks like. I can be cute and cozy.
As well.
And trying to think, what was my last one? So we had Sims, Street Fighter, Tomb Raider, Animal Crossing, and
but Telltale Games.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
I like chaos. Chaos reigns.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yes.
I think that's perfect, though.
But also, actually, that you won't follow the same path as everyone.
That's perfect. That's so good.
Can't follow the same path as everyone.
Yeah.
And that is so key and so important in everything that I've done, actually.
Yeah.
That making my own lane and not following kind of what's been expected of me, because I literally jumped ship from social work like type of job, and really thinking that I had to go college and then uni and then job and then find partner and have kids and house and all of that. And once I broke out of that very systemic way of living and finding my own way, I have never been happier. So yes, please live your life to your own accord would be my biggest message.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And then, so trying to limit it, how much stuff you're doing. Actually, don't limit it. Just tell us, what are you working on now? Where can we see Ebonix thriving?
Whew, girl. We need a whole nother segment.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm working on a piece of content to put on TikTok and YouTube now, which is about what a gamer looks like. So that's been more like interview style content. So that's going to be on my kind of Twitter and YouTube. I'm working on another kind of like longer piece of content for YouTube. I don't want to, put it out there yet,
NDAs.
but it's really cool. Working with a publisher and putting out something for them as well. So
love it.
Another NDA that I can't talk about. At the end of the year, I've got an exhibit in Italy.
So cool.
Where I'm literally creating about 35 to 40 pieces of digital art to put in there. So, and it's going to be kind of first of its kind. And I'm very excited and very nervous because it's not been done before, but I really appreciate them kind of trusting me to turn this into something just really memorable and amazing. And yeah, I've got an announcement coming out, I think next week, I'm really excited about. Just is something that just properly aligns. Aww. So yeah, it's just there's a lot going on. That is all very exciting, but of course can't talk too much about it just yet. But definitely just keep following the journey, because we're in this together, and I'm doing it a lot for the community who supported me for all these years, and the community to come.
Oh, that's amazing, Ebonix. Thank you so much for coming on.
Sweet. No, it's been a pleasure. Always love having a catch up with you.
I know.